In this video, we're going to talk about how to get full rotation at any age.
All right, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. Chance to win with your best comment of the week. Free swag. All you got to do is subscribe. You'll be eligible to win the swag. So, I'm not that young anymore.
Neither am I.
And what was that you mentioned about rotation at any age? That appeals to me.
Okay.
I know a lot of our viewers, it does too.
So all that means is as we age, we tend to lose flexibility.
Sure.
But I think there may be some, if you're struggling with making a full turn, there may be some things that you're doing or trying to do in your legs, lower body, maybe even upper body that are restricting you from making a full turn.
Right.
So if you think you can't, maybe this video will help you free up a little bit and add turn that you think you may have lost, but you really haven't.
Because we don't really want to just turn at all costs in the golf swing. Right, we still have to get to impact. We still want good club head dynamics coming into impact. So we want to turn freely, but do it in a way that's not going to hurt us on the downswing.
Yeah, because we have to get the other way at impact.
Right.
Open.
And we see with our older golfers, so we see it all the time. They'll actually get more rotation in the backswing than our tour players, but they got no chance on the downswing because of how they got that rotation.
Absolutely.
So what are we not talking about? So
we've got a couple alignment sticks here. Let me put one through my belt loops here, and then you guys can do this at home to get a sense for what's going on with your real simplified
we'll start with
rotation.
down the line first. So let's have you face me, and then I'm going to put this one on the ground at a 45-degree angle.
Just going to cross the feet.
So right basically to heel to toe, that's 45 in the stance line. And what Shaun's going to do, and we'll do it without a club first, or just cross your arms there. So he's going to try to match this shaft down to this shaft. That's pretty steep there. That's about 45.
Let's flip it the other way.
Yeah.
Ha! There
Gumby.
we go.
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
All right, 45 right there.
Done.
Okay, boom. Now, if that's difficult to do, and we see this with a lot of golfers, the tendency is to, and do that one more time. So we can see some tilt. This side of the stick is lower than that side. Now, if this is difficult to do, or you want a bigger turn, what do we start to see happening?
Super flat.
Super flat, the hips start reversing.
Shoulders start flattening too.
And you start basically pivoting around your ankles.
There's no true wind up.
Right. That's where rotation can get you in trouble. So we don't want to restrict rotation, but we want to rotate with enough tilt to where it's advantageous to us on the downswing.
That we can get pressure left early.
So let's see that again. Let's see the max you can rotate while keeping a good tilt to that stick.
It's about it right there.
Right there. So he's not restricting his hip movement. He's just running into a physical limitation, which is fine. You can play with that. And it's also not a 70-degree hip rotation. Don't need to be.
Probably enough.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So what can I do? What if the golfer has been told to keep, sit into the hip and sit on the right leg?
For a restricted turn, that's not the best thing to do. We want to allow those tilts to happen with as much freedom of movement as happening, so we can allow that right leg, that trail leg, to start to straighten.
And when we do that, the left one will also take up some of this space as well.
That's right.
So to let them change a little bit, I was taught the opposite, to keep them dead still. And I hurt my back doing it.
It's super restrictive, right?
Super restrictive. I was trying to make an X factor.
Right.
I was taught that in Red Diver magazine, surprisingly enough. But now I know I can make my knees change for a little bit, to a point.
Sure.
I don't want to lock the joint.
Lock
we never do.
We still have to have an eye on the downswing.
Exactly. So a little bit of straightening, a little bit of bending of the left.
And that's about 5-10 degrees past our stick on the ground.
And that lets me turn and tilt and feel like I'm not reversing my hips this way too much, because this to me is a kiss of death as well.
Right.
You can turn a lot more that way, but you've put yourself in a really bad spot because you can't make any lateral motion from there. So let the knees change, flex, allow yourself to turn. That'll free up the upper body. If you can get basically, to me, the ultimate goal here, you pretty much need to get a 90-degree-ish turn with the shoulders, chest.
Sure.
Because if you do that, you can get some depth in your arms and hands, which opens up this room to make an on-plane downswing. If you restrict your hip turn and you have a restricted upper body turn, I can't get depth enough to swing down on any kind of plane.
So if you can get your hips rotated somewhere around this 45, right? We have a lot of our touring players are in the 30s.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't bother them at all because they're going to be more open at impact.
And they can disassociate more here and get more turn on the back
So
swing.
if you go 65 degrees, which we see a lot of our senior golfers do, they can't recover from that. They can't get open at impact in that same time frame.
They look like this at impact.
Yeah. So it's a matter of playing to your limitations, I guess might be the safest way to say it, versus just rotating at all costs, because we want to keep these tilts in that rotation so we can take advantage of the rotation in the downswing. We'd much rather be open at impact than being really closed and flippy at impact.
Yeah, because if I overturn flat, now I'm uphill too early.
Right.
If I change the knees, let the left side of the stick stay down a little longer, now I can start turning around, opening, and getting a lot of good things happen with the club face.
And you'll actually start to pick up distance from less of a number of rotation, even though you're kind of running into your max rotation. It's just a different way to achieve that rotation.
Absolutely.
So it's not, maximizing the backswing doesn't increase distance on the downswing in and of itself. You've got to be able to set up the downswing with the backswing.
Absolutely. And those tilts as you turn are a big part of it.
A huge part of it.
And by allowing it to tilt the correct way and moving your body differently, instead of trying to sit into your knees or locking things up, you're going to get more rotation, like we said, at any age and pick up distance at any age.
At any age. Give it a try. Let us know how it goes.